Wouldn't you?
Yes.
How are we doing?
Feeling great.
I thought you'll ask him the answer to that question. I was like, no,
Yeah,
that's
even
for
I
the
was
viewers.
trying
You want to
No,
guess
no,
actually?
no,
Yeah, let's.
no.
What's your guess?
To be frank, I don't know.
Ah,
I'll go
smartphone
for.
मिल रहा है.
I'm also can be a participant.
Yeah, of course. Open to all. No, not only to friends and family of PT now,
I
but
think I have to.
But maybe let's
okay.
not cheat. Let our viewers only answer that
I know it, so I
question.
should
Yeah.
not talk.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
okay. The relevance of budget. Now, whether we may call it vote on account or whether we may call it the last budget of the current government before the next election cycle. Bottom line here, the backdrop is easy to understand. Local economy is super strong. Global economy is highly uncertain. It's an amazing backdrop, right? You've never seen this kind of a backdrop. Normally, you would say global uncertainty, risk of COVID, issues in terms of debt. But this time, the demarcation is very clear.
Yeah, that mix of our own reforms and policies with the what's happening globally, I think that is the one thing which is making India look very strong in the global arena. And I think that is very much evident that geopolitical, the formations going on, and India is going to be very strong. And this is something, which really works for the Amritkal vision, what we have been talking about. I feel today everyone is ignoring the budget. I think, of course, it's a celebration. And even people started ignoring the upcoming union elections. It's something not once in a century, it's once in 1,000 years kind of a thing we are talking about. A civilizational rise of next 25 years of India.
You talked about, Purinju, the continuity of the current government. Is the market already pricing in that, especially last weekend's developments with Nitish Kumar? Does it seem that it's obvious that it's going to be a very fragmented opposition? It will be this government back into power. And is the market already pricing that in?
That could be the reason people are ignoring it. It's already, already there. Everyone is confident. And I think, so that's already a done deal. But most important, we have got a strong roots for this Amritkal vision.
Sure.
It is not just based on excitement of people or government is creating some fancy or, some excitement. It's very different. This time it's really something massive happening. The massive scale up of economy and markets. So investors have all the reason to rejoice and to be, optimistic. That optimism is what is now reflecting. There is an excitement that's reflecting in the high valuation, what we all are worried about, again and again.
Yeah.
And after that worries, then you see the market strong again and they forget that worries. But ultimately, one should be cautious also. Unless you have got a very long term, the so-called, Amritkal vision. But I think everyone ultimately is going to get into that vision, which is going to drive the economy faster and faster. Now we have seen our market capitalization passing, I think, 4 trillion.
Yes.
We are the fourth in the
We've
globally.
beaten Hong Kong.
Globally.
Yes.
Now you see, these things are happening very fast, if you see. And now from here, we are talking about doubling the economy in 6-7 years, 5-6 years to $7 trillion. And the Amritkal vision of $30 trillion economy by 2047. See, most important point for equity investors or investing community, and every Indian, of course, every trillion will be added to the GDP and to the market capitalization faster and faster. So see the kind of wealth creation, that momentum of wealth creation going to be in the coming years.
Purinju, you said that there are pockets of valuation exuberance, there are pockets of overvaluation, which we always talk about and get a little scared looking at the screen. Where is it that you're maintaining caution, and where do you think in the market there is currently undervaluation and opportunity?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, and everybody has these things in mind. Most people are really, especially the experienced old-timers in the market, they all are very cautious. Looking at the running up of valuations, just take example of PSU companies.
Sure.
It's the most, I am very happy that I remember 2 years back and 3 years back, once they have been moving up. It's something amazing. It's like, it's people could not believe it. And still, they are staying strong. There is no sharp correction. And but at 30, 40, 50 P's, some of those already run up companies, it's always people should be, they are not going to lose money. But there can be very long time-wise correction, maybe 2, 3 years or 4 years, these stocks may not move. There can be 20, 30, 40% corrections for some reason, in the market. So those kind of cyclicality investors should be ready for, but with an Amrit Kaal vision, the way India is moving, with the massive scale-up of operations, a massive building up of infrastructure. This is like never before, historic rate and scale of development. So we can't compare this with any period of time.
We must specify here, considering PSUs is such a large umbrella, where within that do you think those 4-5 years of correction or consolidation is going to come in?
This correction and consolidation will be overall, but I feel we have got one side 30, 40 PE fancied stocks in PSUs, and the other side I am seeing some companies.
So railways, defense, power?
They are into the very high PEs and already gone 2, 3, 5 times, and some of them 10 times in a short period of 2, 3 years. The other side we have I find one segment still to catch fancy of the investing community is the oil and sector. Oil and sector PSU companies, starting with ONGC, we have got HPCL, BPCL, many companies in that sectors. I think some of them are at single-digit P's, and with a very high dividend yield. So these companies are not going to close down. They are very relevant. They have huge cash flow, and companies like ONGC, there is a possibility that their earnings are going to grow than the past. I feel investors should have a look at that. I have some holding in ONGC recently bought. But these are very large companies. Because I made mention on the TV, it's not going to make any difference. That's why I'm confidently telling. So I like ONGC and those other oil and gas sector stocks in PSUs, which can be, at this price, I won't be surprised to see 8 or 10% dividend yield on ONGC in the coming 1-2 years.
Wow.
Okay, that's
Currently it is
Before
7.5
us,
years.
Khulja Simsim, he gave us
he
the
gave us the
ONGC.
idea. And I'm
It's about Khulja Simsim. What is Khulja Simsim? When we say Khulja Simsim, my first memory is that something exciting. Magical.
Yeah.
Something which will give you a pleasure of joy or perhaps help you make money. And that's what we would be doing. So we're calling this wall the Khulja Simsim wall. Some would like to call it the treasure wall. And trust me, this is indeed a treasure wall because this has ideas and wealth making ideas from some of the biggest market masters. So Purinjo is bullish on Khulja Simsim. What is he bullish on? ONGC and Piramal Pharma. ONGC is a PSU stock. They are in the business of exploring crude and gas. The world is moving away from oil and gas into new energy businesses. Do you think it makes sense to buy ONGC?
Oh yes, this has been one reason the stock has been underperforming for last several years. Even after having such kind of dividend yield and cash flows. But the business is going to stay after 5 years, 10 years and 20 years. And the kind of demand is going to be there. In spite of all those alternative fuels, nobody can stop. And ONGC, one reason was it was into a declining trend of last 15 years in terms of production. I think now there are many things happening. The production is going to, I think, stop declining and start moving up. Okay. And at that kind of
what price did you buy it? At what price did you buy it?
I think current price only. I just bought recently.
And you're happy to own it for next 5 years?
Me?
Yeah? Not me, you.
I'm an old man, so it depends. Depends. I think this is a stock to at least hold for next 1-2 years.
1-2 years.
And there can be the sentiment improving that segment itself.
Well,
Old
1-2
man-
years is long term in today's terminology.
Old man,
So we
I
have
don't
the-
see any evidence of that. Let me just see. No, why tell my friend?
It's great that we have the Amrit Kaal vision of 25 years. But, the lifespan of humans are very small. We sometimes do things without waiting
God will
indefinitely.
bless you with long life. I'm sure, sir. We've had to think on that. Okay, the next one. And this is a big one. And this is a new name. And that is Piramal Pharma. It's just one of those companies where a lot has been talked about, a lot has been discussed. When the demerger happened, it was not off to a great start, but last 2 quarter numbers have been solid. What is the unique aspect of Piramal Pharma which excites you?
I think it's a very large pharma company, well diversified within pharma, and many OTC items, and very number one brands in many segments, small segments. And I was surprised once it was demerged. It went down to some, when below 100, went to I think 70, 60 kind of prices.
Double digit.
61. That was
61?
the 52.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
52.
So it's
kilo
more
was
than double
61.
now.
Yeah.
But I feel, I think it's still below 20,000 crores kind of a valuation. This can be a good compounder for next 5
What price
years.
did you buy? What 60? You bought at 120?
We have been buying in PMS when we started buying at 2-digit price, below 100.
Double-digit price.
Yeah.
And you have again at least a 3-year time frame here?
This is next 2-3 years minimum, it's a stock to hold.
Okay, I'm going to read a disclosure on behalf of Runjo. What we are discussing are ideas where he's invested in. If you're investing, please do your due diligence. This is a conversation we are discussing where things are moving, why he's bullish on ONGC, why he's bullish on Piramal. But before I take a break, Khulja Sim Sim, let's go back. The Sim Sim has just about started opening up, and the magic world every 15-20 minutes will shake it hard. And when we'll shake it hard, more and more gems are likely to fall. So what do we have? Well, this will change. We've got 2 ideas from Pranjo. Madhu Kela, 8:30. Then Mr. KDI joining in. Ravi Dharmashi. There is Nilesh Shah. There is Sandeep Sabharwal. So guys, it's a full house today. 360 in terms of, and Sandeep Sabharwal I think has already come to the studio. Oh ho ho. And today he's actually in the studio. He comes.
That is the magical thing.
He's managed to climb. He's managed to climb the wall, which is
But
between.
Puninju, before we let you go, I have to ask you about your meeting with the Prime Minister himself. We all saw that picture. If we can just bring that picture up on the screen as well. What was your conversation like?
Oh, it was a very short meeting.
brief.
Basically, I was invited to have lunch with him. Basically, it was a Christmas lunch.
Wow.
So it was my dream to have, spend time with him and have a picture.
Yeah.
So
course.
I was lucky and I feel very good about it because he is a man. I'm a Christian from Kerala. And I have been supporting the idea of this regime, the idea about India, since even before elections in 2014. So I think that stand of mine, a support to the, not exactly to a political party or a person, but there was an idea behind
Idea
this.
of India.
We were going in a slightly wrong direction before that, especially in terms of the long-term economic growth and sustainability. So here we got in, and see whatever happening, we all are excited about the Samruddhakal vision and many things we have been lucky also. Maybe the current regime cannot take all the credits, but they have utilized every positive aspect globally what India has today. That has been fully taken care, fully taken advantage for the nation. So every citizen of India should be happy and should be, proud of our Prime Minister and the vision. So I am very happy about the whole thing happening. And this is not something for 5 years or 10 years.
Yeah.
This is, as I told earlier, this is a once in 1,000-year kind of an opportunity, especially in terms of the demography.
Yeah.
Imagine, we all talk about
We'll get
demography
better.
last many years. See, below 25, we have around 40% of the population. So we used to talk about, feeding the stomachs of 1.4 billion people. Now it's no more a theme. Economic 400 million people or their stomachs.
Right.
We are now concerned about, or we are now active on engaging the young minds of India. And this is going to drive. See, there was never been that kind of an optimism, a confidence among the business people, among the youngsters, among the startup ecosystem.
Pardon me for this rude interruption. I need to take a break. I've been told that the breakfast from Cumin has arrived for all of us. Even though Aisha, me and Avan have had breakfast.
Yes.
Sandeep,
I haven't.
are you real? You managed to climb the wall and come to the studio today?
No, this is hologram.
Yeah, world, everything
We're
is
in a
possible.
metaverse and we're just seeing him
Pranjo,
there.
Sandeep, Pranjo. We'll keep the conversation going. It's today not about formal, but it's all about really having a fun. And we promise you today the budget viewing on ET Now is like never before. Stay with us, watch with us, coverage unbiased, but more importantly, stock ideas and themes to bet on for next couple of days. Let's take a break.